Well, let me ask you about what President Trump had to say today, because he had two specific points of criticism. One is that the NTSB, he said history tells us, takes a very long time to come to a conclusion, and he felt that the American people deserved answers, and so he put some of his own ideas out there, including suggesting that DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion policies had somehow played a role in this crash. What's your reaction?
Well, my reaction is that's sickening. It turns my stomach. Imagine you're a family member and you're grieving the loss of a family member. You have the President of the United States telling you that your loved one was killed because of DEI when he has zero evidence, and I mean zero, I mean less than zero, to suggest that's true. It's been reported today that President Trump scrapped an aviation safety board that was advising the DHS on January 22. Maybe he wanted to change the subject and not have to answer questions about why he did that. There was not an FAA administrator named. Okay, he's named somebody today. Great, but his decision to, instead of comfort grieving families, start to play a blame game is really sickening, and maybe there's something that he doesn't want to have the public pay attention to.
It is likely that the NTSB will get to the bottom of this. They will figure out what exactly happened here. And we don't know that this has anything to do with it. But I do want to ask you, Senator, about last year when you were among many lawmakers who warned against adding flights at Reagan International because it's already so busy. It did ultimately get passed as part of the FAA reauthorization. But does that deserve, in your mind, another look?
It absolutely does. Look, I have been raising concern about congestion at this airport for a very long time, and it really ratcheted up in connection with a bill that we passed last March. There was an effort by some in Congress to put even more flights into this airport. This is a small airport. I was listening to some of your earlier guests. It's on a small footprint of land. It was designed to accommodate about 15 million passengers in and out a year. It's well over 20 million now. Because of the overuse of this particular airport, it has pretty significant delay issues, and that kind of overuse can also lead to safety. I myself use this airport a bunch, and I have been, in July, my wife and I were returning from a flight, and we got very close to landing and had to do an emergency, one of those where they pull up and they swing you around to land again because of some kind of activity on this very, very busy runway. And so I'm very troubled. I talked to my colleagues about that last year. I said it would be a mistake to try to jam more flights into this airport. And also, as your guests indicated, it's not just the airport. It's also a really complicated airspace. There are parts of this airspace over D.C. that are restricted. The intermixing of military flights at a number of military installations and commercial flight makes this very, very complicated. And so do I know that this was a factor? Absolutely not. Do I have confidence the NTSB will tell us if it is a factor? I do.
Virginia Senator Tim Kaine, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Of course, American Eagle Flight 5342 originated in Wichita, Kansas. Coming up next on Chris Jansing Reports, the mayor of Wichita will stand by to talk about how the city is responding to this deadly crash. Keep it right here on MSN.